welcome you all to today's webinar session on Unlearn HR to Learn Agile PeopleOps. On behalf of Agile PeopleOps, me, Asta Singh, your host, would like to thank you all for taking out your precious time and joining us today. So, what is Agile Ops? Our core intent is to create the PeopleOps social fabric to harness collective intelligence and practice new PeopleOps learnings. The three core Agile PeopleOps global community attributes are connect, collaborate, and to create, the three C's as we say. In this webinar, we are going to learn about why we need to bid goodbye to the HR and welcome Agile PeopleOps and understand Agile PeopleOps framework, its manifesto, and its values as well. I'd also now like to introduce to our esteemed speakers for today's sessions. The first speaker we have is our Saudi Arabia country ambassador, Mr. Moteb Al-Shamari. He's the first Saudi leader getting the highest level of Agile PeopleOps framework certification as Certified PeopleOps and Business Coach. He has more than 16 years of specialization in local and international organizations. He's well-versed in business coaching and mentoring, agile organization culture and climate, employees, engagement and experience, latest human capital related concepts, theories and principles, policies and benchmark workflow and processes practices such as Agile, Learn, Sorum, Kanban, Scrumban, along with applying design thinking mindsets, coaching culture, and servant leadership as well. The second leader we have is Mrs. Sarika Gupta. She is PeopleOps Director and APF Certified PeopleOps Coach at Cultural Intelligence and SAP Certified from CDAC. As a human-centered leader, she is passionate about elevating the people's experience within the company and continuously strives to leverage a constructive culture between and across diverse distributed teams. Sarika loves to use her mentoring and coaching toolkit to bring the best out of the people. Welcome, Modeb and Sarika. Now the stage is all yours. I'd like you all to proceed from here. Thank you.
Thanks, Asta.
Thank you, Asna. Hello, everyone. Am I hearable?
Yes, you are audible. You are audible.
All right. Hello, everyone. It's very nice to see you all here. And this is our first Saudi Agile PeopleOps community event. I will be taking you through our today's agenda, and then we'll be moving forward through the presentation. So today, today's agenda, we are going to talk about the current business realities, and then traditional HR versus people operations, and the paradigm shift, and then APF manifesto and values, and APF value realization. Asna, please move to the next slide. Well, as you can see in this slide, we do have business landscapes and business realities characterized by the disruption and the VUCA. And when we talk about the VUCA, which we mean that the volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. And as you can see that most of the business or all the businesses currently, they are part into this VUCA circle, and with a lot of complex of informations and a lot of overwhelming data and a lot of uncertainty and like what happened earlier about the pandemic when it's been happening, and then how the organization be reacting into that, and how things to overcome those kind of uncertain situations, and all with all of these kind of things, and also the overwhelming of the data and a lot of complexity, the ambiguity comes with a lot of haze happening and so on. There are also the VUCA prime, which is it's actually not included in the presentation, but I'm gonna give it to you for a quick. When we say about the volatility, the vision comes in verses, the uncertainty, the understanding, and then the complexity comes with the clarity, and then the ambiguity comes with the agility. That's for the VUCA prime and for the leadership. This is just for a quick to give you a quick brief about the VUCA and the VUCA prime. And the other part of the presentation, which is for the year 22, we have seen that it's a year of a great resignation happen, and for entire the world actually, which made the people, I mean the organizations, to reimagine, reinvent, rethink what are the issues, what are the problems, and how to embrace the problems, and how to reimagine and do the changes and do the priorities. And why the people resigned in the year of 22, or the resignation became higher actually, because post the pandemic, people started understanding the flexibility aspects and the importance of the work-life balance and certain on, which made the organizations to do a setback. And it was like a wake-up call to organizations, and they, as they need to reflect on how to reinvent and reimagine on to the processes, and how to find the best practices for employees to be within the organization and not quit from the organizations. Of course, by inventing a lot of business practices and coming up with a lot of ideas and emphasizing how they to keep the employees and not let them quit from the organization, and come up with the work-life balance and so on. Next, yeah, here. So the George Pearson company, it's actually a company specialized in HR predictions, and their HR prediction for the year 22, the challenges ahead will include, they came up with a certain type of challenges, and the part of the challenges that upskilling HR team, organizing HR around agile and design and delivery, and continuously innovating around employee experience, recruitment, hybrid work, and multi-generational career path. And their report for the their HR prediction for the year 2023, it was mostly about the employee experience, which when we talk about the employee experience, we talk about the entire organization, and especially the employee's experience with the people operation or the HR function, how they've been upscaled and how they've been continuously innovating and so on. Let's move forward to the next slide. Here, human resources, it's an outdated phrase actually, and organizational members are not resources, but organization's competitive advantage, and people are no more resources, they are value, they must be valued by the organizations, and also they've been given the priority because they are actually the organizational success when it comes to organizations, and they are part of the organizations, and that's how we call it the human resources function is an outdated function, or the word itself, HR, it's been an outdated, and what's been lately as a practice is called people operations, and people operations that give them more values to the function itself and to the people who work into that function, and at the same time by upskilling them and reskilling them, and at the same time engaging them with certain type of strategic decisions, which will be coming after a while into that presentation, the traditional HR function versus the people operation. Let's move next. Well, here, as you can see, the latest organizations, or the wide organizations that be calling now the HR function as the people operations or people ops or human capital. And as you can see, there are certain and also they rebrand the function, and at the same time rebranded the leaders title into that function, some of them like Chief Heart Officer and Chief Amazement Officer, and some of the organization, they call it Chief People Officer. But here is one important thing, that rebranding the function or rebranding the title is not the importance. Actually, the importance is to rebrand the function, and at the same time with the culture and changing the behaviors and the upskilling of the people ops functions. And that's how things need to be taken forward, and the people need to be given the values, and that's how things need to be moving forward. It's not only by seeing the organizations changing the title of the function, or rebranding the function, or rebranding the leader for that function as a title. Let's move forward. Well, here's the slide which I was telling you about. We're becoming and seeing traditional HR versus people operations. Now, most of the organizations across the globe, actually, not only in Saudi, but more we're talking about Saudi, the traditional HR function is that transactional and tactical. And most of the HR people are on the hot seat, and actually they are reactive, responding to the issues and as they come up. And most of the HR functions actually are being siloed and limited to the boundaries, and the HR function being siloed not only from the organization, like from marketing or sales or business development and so on, but also actually within the HR function itself. There are co-functions like recruitment, performance management, and training and development. They've been siloed from each other, where actually doing traditional HR practices, and they are not working together in terms of that. And at the same time, they are informed about the decisions, and they're expected to execute or giving the task list to do and to fulfill. That's how the traditional HR functions currently works. However, in people operation, this is totally not existing. In people operations, they are engaged with the organizational decisions. They are part of the leadership team, and about when it comes to the strategic decisions, and also creating proactive programs to achieve goals. Like, for example, people operation functions understand the strategy of the business and understanding the business in order to be aligned with the business. Even, for example, like recruiting people, this is how, when the people operation function understand the actual business needs, they're gonna fulfill the candidates as per into this kind of fulfillments, not only by given as a task, but by understanding the business and how the actual candidates gonna function into that role, and how they've been gonna be succeed. And at the same time, people operation function gonna be consulted and put into the leadership table, in terms of having the conversations and what are the best for the business in order to be part of the success. And they are being engaging into so many strategic decisions which gonna give the business the advantage and the success. So this is how this is actually the difference between traditional HR and versus the people operations. So when I was talking about the traditional HR, I believe most of the people gonna agree with me about this traditional HR function and how they react. They are actually reacting into scenarios, reacting into problems, reacting to certain type of issues or situations. While into people operations, it's actually more proactive, more consulted with the business, more strategic, more understanding what are the actual business needs and how to align to it. So this is the difference between the traditional HR and the people operation function. So here we comes to a company called Buffer. They are into digital marketing industry, and that company actually embracing the people operation is about designing work that so that you as an employee, you want to be there, present, engaged, and proud of what you do. Not only Buffer, actually, there are Google, there are Facebook, they upskilled their function actually to people operation, where they have the same understanding of how to make the people operation functions perform their duties and engaged with the business. And at the same time, they wanted to be present, they wanted to be engaged and proud of what they do within their organization. Next. Well, what is Agile? Actually, Agile is an intentional behavioral shift and embrace change, understanding the needs and expectations, and how putting yourselves into the employees and your internal customer. Of course, it's actually Agile is delivering the value to customers. And in this case, we are talking about our internal customers, who are the employees and the stakeholders, and at the same time, the candidates who are going to be within the hiring. So what is Agile and making it succeed into that perspective is understanding the needs and the expectation, and how we are putting ourselves into the employees' shoes and the candidates and the stakeholders by doing and understanding what are the needs and what are the expectations. And it's going to happen only by active listening and by observing also, and to find out what they are trying to share and finding out what's actually going to be good and what's going to be perfect and actually good for the organization and for the employees and for the stakeholders. So again, to summarize it, is what's Agile in terms of the people ops function is understanding the needs and the expectations of the candidates, the employees, and the stakeholders by embracing the active listening and observing what they are trying to share, as it is very important to be open for that behavioral shift. That can then help to ultimate the outcome, to get the ultimate outcome and get the delivering value, as we said here, deliver the value to the customers. Next. We come to the lean. And what is lean? So Agile, as we said, as I just mentioned, Agile as a function or as a process or as a framework being actually invented within the IT sector for about 20 years. and lean being earlier to that, which about invented since the 60s, but it's been within the manufacturing industry. However, it's not about embracing the agile and embracing the lean, not only in IT sector or in technology or in manufacturing. It's actually also it's a need to be within any type of organization and any type of people operation function. And at the same time, it's actually eliminating, it's identifying and reducing or eliminating waste or delays. So when we're talking about that, and to achieve the quality and continuous improvement, and when we are talking about that within the organization functions, actually, such as the people operation, is to check, like for performance management, the recruitment, like with the recruiters, with the hiring managers, is that we need to check and observe what are the processes and what are making delays or the waste into that phrase, and how to eliminate those kind of delays and making them more lean, making them more agile in order to deliver the value to our customers. And again, into that part or into that case, our customers are our internal employees and the candidates and the stakeholders. So by those kind of approaches, we're gonna come out and deliver the best values to our employees. And that's how we are embracing the people ops function, actually. Next. All right, so the paradigm shift, it's actually, as I mentioned earlier, it's about such kind of behavioral shifts, and that organizations and its leadership and the stakeholders need to understand and put into place that about when we start about the paradigm shift, we are going to talk about first the growth mindset. And we have to put the effort in accepting the change and moving forward toward success, that we have to, Asna, please move to the previous slide. Yes, here. So yes, here. So the growth mindset, when organizations are talking about or emphasizing the changes, that leaders need to understand changes as must be in order to achieve the success, that we must have the growth mindset. And then the second one, which is the human-centric approach, getting deeper and to understand and active listen to the internal employees and the stakeholders in order to understand how we make things better, how we make, how we are moving forward. And of course that we have to emphasize the rationality and with the compassion and the empathy. That's when we are talking about the human-centric approach experience. Those type of two shifts gonna lead us to the agile lean practice, where we deliver the good values to the stakeholders and to the employees and the customers, who are the internal customers, who are the employees, and the stakeholders, and at the same time the targeted candidates, and at the same time work in short cycles, where we are putting the sprints for the in order to make things faster and engaging the team of teams, which Sarika gonna talk about it in after a while. And that's how we actually come up with the success. And again, as I say, this kind of shift, it's a journey. It cannot be finished in days or weeks or months. It's actually a continuous journey in order to get things succeed and get things into being putting into place. And within this slide, I hand over the mic to my co-speaker, Sarika, and the stage all yours, although it's virtual.
Thank you so much, Motive. Thanks a lot. That was a lovely explanation, especially about the difference between traditional and Agile HR. Thanks, Asta, for sharing the slide. So hi, everyone. Motive and I are really delighted to introduce you to Agile PeopleOps LLC, which is an esteemed partner of Culturaligens and is based in USA, and their innovative approach to HR. Now, at the heart of their methodology lies this groundbreaking Agile People Operations Framework, APF, which is the world's first framework of its kind. Now, most of you, especially those who are aware of Agile, especially in software sector, they might be wondering why Agile is relevant in context of HR. Let me clarify. Now, that this methodology, it draws inspiration from Agile principles only used in project management within the software sector. Now, these principles, they actually prioritize flexibility. They prioritize collaboration and continuous improvement. And by applying these Agile principles to HR processes, organizations can achieve a more responsive and adaptive approach to managing their workforce, which is very critical. And this shift involves moving away from traditional HR practices and embracing more agile and dynamic methods. Right? So Agile People Operations Framework, it provides a comprehensive guide on how to adopt the agile way of working, making it applicable and effective in HR context. Now, this framework has been successfully, implemented in various countries, including USA, India, South Africa, Middle East, South America, Europe, and Hong Kong, and many professionals, they have become certified in this approach. And its popularity is actually steadily growing over a period of time. So before we deep dive into this innovative approach, I would like to share that at APF, we offer certain role-based certification programs so that these concepts of people operations, of Agile HR, they don't remain concepts only, and people could learn and implement them. So we offer APF Talent Champions program for entry-level professionals, especially for those who are interested in pursuing a career in talent acquisition. So that was about talent acquisition, but then there are some people who are not really interested in recruitment and hiring. So what about them? For them, we have APF Specialist program, especially for those who are seeking a generalist profile in people operations. And we have separate Scrum Master certification, which is one level up, this certification for talent champions and specialists both. And furthermore, our APF Coach program is specifically designed for HR VPs, directors, consultants, and coach agents. And it is certified by International Coaching Federation too. And in case you are interested in learning more about APF and its certifications, please feel free to use the chat box, ask questions, and we'll be more than happy to answer your questions. In the meanwhile, I think Preeti, you can share the link to the APF website in the chat. Could you please change the slide, Asta? Thank you. So now we'll take a stepwise look into the details. Let's come to Agile Manifesto first. So our manifesto is a written statement outlining what we stand for and how we plan to effect the change we are advocating. Some call it creed, some call it mission statement, and our manifesto strongly advocates these four aspects: team of teams over traditional hierarchies, growth mindset over fixed mindset, coaching culture over command and control, and transcultural competence over cultural competence. We'll get into the details of each and every one of these one by one. Let's move on, Asta. Okay. So first one is team of teams. Now, team of teams is different from traditional hierarchical format used in most organization charts. In traditional hierarchy, there's a pyramid-like structure with directors, managers, team members in order of their hierarchy from highest to lowest. That is what happens in most of the organizations. Many of you are working with the organizations, you must be aware of that. Now, traditional hierarchy refers to a rigid organization structure with clear chain of command and limited employee autonomy. On the other hand, a team of teams approach, it brings together various teams to collaborate and work towards a shared goal, creating a network of teams. Let's understand this thing with an example. For example, a software development company, it may use a team of teams approach to build a new application. Now, this team could consist of developers, designers, quality assurance testers, project managers, customer support representatives, all working together towards a shared goal. And what happens when such a collaboration happens? This approach actually allows for faster decision-making. It promotes collaboration between teams, which can lead to a more efficient, a more effective product development process. There's a very beautiful book written by retired US Army General Stanley McChrystal called Team of Teams, which actually highlights the importance of agility, communication, and that shared consciousness in modern organizations, and the need to empower individuals and small teams to adapt and innovate. In his book, he shared those valuable lessons for organizations, especially those who are struggling with unconventional challenges and environments today. This book is actually available on, and if you are interested, you can go ahead and read it too. That was about Team of Teams. Let's move on to the next slide, Asta. Okay, now let's explore the concept of growth mindset working versus fixed mindset using an example. Imagine there are two HR managers working in the same organization. Now, the first HR manager holds a fixed mindset. He firmly believes that his current methods of employee training and performance evaluation are the effective ones. They are the best ones in the industry. And whenever his team members suggest a new idea or approach, he dismisses them, stating that there is no need for a change since they have already, they have always done it this way and it's working. Now, this fixed mindset leads him to resist innovation, leads him to resist feedback, leads him to resist to collaboration, ultimately hindering the HR team's ability to improve their processes and support the organizational goals. As a result, what happens? He limits his personal growth and development and prevents himself and his team from reaching to the full potential. On the other hand, the second HR manager, the one who embraces the growth mindset, he is open to exploring new ideas, exploring new strategies that could actually enhance their process and better support the employees and, of course, their own personal goals. Now, he actively seeks feedback. He encourages collaboration, and he continuously seeks opportunities to improve team's performance. Now, this growth mindset enables him to adapt to changing circumstances, right? And challenges leading to a greater success in achieving the organizational objectives. So that's how it is. This is what the difference is. The one with the growth mindset is actually, increasing his possibilities of improvement as a person, professionally and personally. And this concept of growth mindset was popularized by Carol Dweck. Now, she is a psychologist from Stanford University, and she has done immense research in this field. And researchers have consistently shown that individuals with a growth mindset, they tend to be more resilient. They tend to be more successful in various areas of their life. So if I have to summarize it, a fixed mindset can limit personal and professional growth, whereas a growth mindset fosters a willingness to learn, to adapt, and to continuously improve, leading to greater success and fulfillment. So that's how things are when it comes to fixed mindset and growth mindset. Now, I think in a day or two, you will receive a handout from us, which will include the topics covered in the webinar and some self-assessment tests, especially related to mindset, especially for you to reflect upon. So I would request you to go ahead and do those tests. Let's move on to the next. Okay, fine. Coaching culture over command and control. Now, in command and control management styles, say, for instance, in HR, there could be an HR manager who is making all decisions and closely monitoring his team's work, providing very little autonomy or opportunity for feedback. Now, this HR manager may dictate the performance goals and matrices to the team without involving them in the goal-setting process. He may even not be open to feedback or suggestions from team members about how to improve the process, how to improve the work environment. Now, this kind of approach can create a lack of motivation, lack of engagement among team members who may feel undervalued, who may feel micromanaged, which will ultimately hinder HR teams' ability to adapt to changing circumstances and respond to employees' needs effectively. On the contrary, in contrast, in a coaching culture, managers, they provide regular feedbacks. They provide regular support to their team members. They encourage them to take the ownership of their work and help them set challenging but achievable goals. Very important. Additionally, employees may seek out coaching and feedback from their peers and managers, and they can actually engage in regular self-assessment and self-reflections to identify their areas of improvement. So you could say a coaching culture not only benefits individual employees, but also organization as a whole, as it is creating a positive work environment. It's improving communication and collaboration. It's enhancing overall performance and productivity within the organization. Let's move on to the next slide, Asta. All right. Transcultural competence over cultural competence. Most of you face this. Let's see how. Now, what is cultural competence? Let's understand this thing. Cultural competence is nothing but the ability of a person to effectively interact, work, and develop a meaningful relationship with people from their own culture. On the other hand, transcultural competence is nothing but the ability to understand, appreciate, and interact with people from different cultures. Now, individuals are better able to accomplish goals in this case in a respectful way, no matter what the cultural context is. Someone who is possessing this transcultural competence is better enabled to do this. Now here, there's one example I could quote, from Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is home to holy cities of Mecca and Medina, which is of immense significance around the world, right? We all are aware of that. Now, Saudi Arabia demonstrates remarkable transcultural competence during Hajj season. How? By providing hospitality and accommodation to pilgrims from diverse backgrounds from all across the world. You could see people coming from various countries for Hajj to this location. And the Saudi authorities, they employ multilingual staff. They provide information in various languages to assist pilgrims who may not even speak Arabic. So be it directions, safety instructions, or other essential information, they provide assistance in each and everything. And special care is taken to ensure that the pilgrimage sites are accessible to people with physical disabilities or mobility challenges, allowing them for full participation, especially in those rituals. One more thing I would like to, bring up here is Saudi Arabia respects the diverse cultural practices and traditions of the pilgrims. They understand, that different groups may have unique ways of performing rituals, certain rituals, which might not be common all across the world when it comes to community level. So they accommodate these variations without any judgment, right? So this is one example, I could say, beautiful example of how a country actually demonstrates transcultural competence. And if you have another example to share with me, let's do it in the question and answer sessions. I would love to hear from all of you. Let's move on to the next slide. Okay, values, right. So next slide is about values. What are values? Values are the fundamental beliefs of an organization. Organizational values, they provide a clear guide for decision-making, they shape company culture, and they align employees towards shared goals and principles. And actually guide the employees in identifying what is right, what is wrong. Value gives them a sense of direction. At APF, we have these 6 values which we strongly advocate: open communication, feedback, commitment, courage, respect, and adaptability. Now let's talk about open communication first. Open communication refers to creating a work environment where people, where employees, they feel comfortable and encouraged to express their thoughts, their concerns, and feedback without the fear of retribution. Now, promoting open communication, HR or people operations, so to say, they can gather valuable insights from employees, something which is, we should give importance to. They can identify the areas of improvement and make data-driven decisions that support the organizational objectives. It can help address conflicts and issues even before they escalate, and create a culture of communication, continuous learning and development. And this kind of communication is, most welcome in the organizations. Next is feedback. Next value in line. Feedback, as we all know, very essential these days, especially in HR, as it helps to improve employee performance and engagement. Even if we go to a mall, we are asked about the feedback. At the billing counter, you could see, they ask for a feedback. You press the emoji or you write something down, give us your feedback. Or maybe when you come back home after shopping, you would get an email, how was your shopping experience? So everybody is actually looking for a feedback. And by providing a constructive feedback, employees can understand their strengths, their areas of improvement, which can actually lead to increased motivation and productivity. Additionally, feedback can also help HR to identify areas where employees may need additional training. They might need additional support. So when you identify such things, you can actually provide the support and the help required to that particular employee, ultimately leading to more skilled and more effective workforce. Next is commitment, courage, and respect. Commitment. Commitment towards work. How can it be shown? It can be shown by being dedicated, striving for excellence, taking ownership of your own tasks, being accountable, and collaborating with colleagues to achieve common goals. Now, how HR can demonstrate commitment? HR can demonstrate commitment by providing support, providing employee development, and creating that positive work culture. Now, when it comes to leaders, how leaders can show this commitment? Leaders can show commitment by recognizing and rewarding the employee contributions. And commitment towards self is equally important. It can be demonstrated by setting personal goals, continuously learning, improving your skills, taking care of physical and mental health, maintaining that work-life balance is something we all should do. Balancing commitment towards self and work is important for achieving that overall success and well-being. Next is courage. Courage refers to the ability to take risks and to speak up where something is not right. I know it's very difficult. You could see so many, wrong deeds being done in your organizations, and you hardly get the guts to go ahead and speak in front of your boss or maybe in the meetings. But then this is something that we all have to develop. And employees who have the courage to express their opinions and ideas, even if they are different from others. They can help foster innovation. They can help foster the creativity in the workplace. And leaders, those who encourage courage by creating a safe space for employees to express their thoughts and ideas, can actually create a culture of trust and openness. It's actually going to benefit the organization at the end. And then we have respect. Respect refers to treating others with dignity, with fairness, with kindness. And employees who feel respected are more likely to be engaged and motivated at the work. And leaders, usually what happens, employees follow what leaders demonstrate. So leaders who model respectful behavior and promote a culture of inclusivity can help create a positive work environment where all employees, they feel valued, they feel supported. And then we have adaptability, an essential skill for employees at all levels in the organization. Especially in today's rapidly changing world, it becomes even more important during the pandemic, as organizations, they have had to rapidly adjust to new ways of working and operating, as Motive has mentioned in her, while he was doing the talk. So there are so many things that we face and adapted ourselves to. Especially during pandemic, we learned new technologies and communication methods. And that is how many employees worked from home during the pandemic. Employees who were adaptable, they have been able to quickly learn new software and tools for remote collaboration and to adjust to new communication norms and expectations. Then we learned how to be flexible. And employees who were adaptable to have been able to adjust to their work schedules, job responsibility and expectations to respond to the pandemic, they were actually, successful. Then resilience. This pandemic has been so stressful and challenging time for all of us, with no exceptions at all. And adaptability has been so crucial for maintaining resilience, mental well-being, to be able to cope up with the stress. And this uncertainty and change to maintain a positive outlook in the face of adversity. So that is what the importance of adaptability is. Let's move on to the next slide, Astha. All right, value realization. Now, what is it that you could expect that would happen? When you embrace an agile mindset, it brings positive changes and improvements to the organizations. What kind of changes could you expect? Firstly, cross-functional collaboration happens. Silos are broken and departments, they work together on common goals, leading to increased productivity and a more enjoyable workplace. A result of this could be co-creation and innovation. Just because various departments are working together, collaborating with customers, collaborating with partners, with stakeholders, it results in the development of innovative ideas and improved services. Thirdly, streamlining processes by eliminating unnecessary tasks. Motive has mentioned this lean methodology. It's nothing but eliminating the waste out of your daily work. For example, especially those who work in HR, there are a lot of places where we feed our data into, required or not required, just a matter of practice. We are doing it manually too, we are doing it on our computers too, we hardly use that data. So instead of feeding the data in various places, why not streamline the whole process? So that there's no need to feed the data at so many places, and you can use the data which has been fed in a single place, and use that time for some other productive work which you have been wasting or feeding the data at different places. So by eliminating unnecessary tasks and by adopting agile tools, businesses can actually enhance the process efficiency and reduce the time and effort spent on non-essential work. Fourthly, value-driven culture. Now, employees, they align their personal values with organizational values, creating a motivated and unified workspace. then we could see, Agile strongly advocates, cadences, short and frequent meetings, which ensures a balance between individual productivity and group project updates. And it drives continuous improvement in the process, products, and services, because you go ahead and share your status, maybe on a daily basis, maybe on alternate days in the meetings. In some places it's called daily huddles. It's at some places it's called Scrum, whatever it is, you call by any name, right? This is something that Agile strongly advocates. Then human-centered experience. Motab has also mentioned this thing. Looking at the ground level, you are there. You know how to make the process much more user-friendly. You should go ahead and do it. Then, enhanced customer experience. Organizations are actually focusing on customer experience. And customer experience outperforms their competition, benefiting internal and external stakeholders. So all in all, we could say, embracing an agile mindset, it enables organizations to adapt, to innovate, and create a positive and efficient work environment, ultimately driving success, driving growth. Let's move on to the next slide. Okay, thanks, Asta. Okay. Now, this is our last slide of the day. And in conclusion, it's very important to reflect on the ways in which adopting an agile mindset can actually bring value to your organization, particularly in people operations or HR. So with the role of people operations evolving, as Motab has explained to you, the difference between traditional HR and people operations, there are new opportunities for individuals to become those change champions within their own organizations, within their own teams. And it's up to each person to take that introspective look on how they can contribute to this shift towards agility, towards continuous improvement. And if you need any kind of help and support in this journey, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are here to assist you in telling you how this could be done. We'll help you with the required certification. We'll tell you how to do it at the ground level, what kind of tools you could go ahead and use to implement this thing. And I should say it's kind of a food for thought for all of you. Right? So you have to think, what is it that you could do at your own level to become those change champions in your own organizations? So that was it for today's presentation. Motab, do you have anything to add to it?
Thank you, Sarika. That's actually fruitful information. And I believe everybody was enjoying listening to you and watching the fruitful information you were given. And I've just sent in the chat box my information, as you just mentioned, that to help you to become the change champion or about APF certifications or coaching, please reach out to me. And I've put in my contact information in order to help you about that. And thank you again, Sarika. It was great.
Thanks, Motab. Thanks a lot. All right, over to you, Astha.
Okay, thank you so much. And that was a really, really very wonderful session. And I'm sure everyone will agree on this. Thank you so much for this session. So I want to take this moment to thank both of our speakers for this thought-provoking and very knowledgeable sharing session. Thank you so much. And now you will all receive a feedback form link in the chat box. and I request you to share your feedback on it. Yeah, and also if there is anyone who would like to raise any question or would like to share their own personal thoughts, their views, or their opinions, please take your moment, and please take this moment and come up on the stage. And if there's anything you want to share with us, please come forward.
Sure. It's not only questions. We would like to hear your own experiences, especially when it comes to values, when it comes to manifestos, which I have suggested, or maybe your own organization is already following this people operations and you have drifted away from a traditional HR. If anyone has to share that experience, we would love to hear that.
Yeah, sure. So if there's anyone willing, so please, come up here, and we'd like to hear your experience, and it would be really wonderful to hear you.
Even if you're not able to come up with any question right now, we would like to invite your questions even after the end of this presentation. You can go ahead and reach out to APF or maybe Motiv and share your questions, your queries, your thoughts with him. It will help us improve. It will help, us to improve our mindset, our arena. It will make it much more broader. We can take it in a broader manner.
Yeah.
We would love to hear from them, from all of you.
Yeah, any kind of feedback, constructive criticism, any appreciation, everything would be heartily welcomed from all of you. So for now, I think we should continue. And I'm so glad to inform you that we have an upcoming United Kingdom webinar that's scheduled on July 27. And the speaker is Roxanne Ellen. The session aims to explain the positive impact of embracing agility on people, highlight the importance of transparency in Agile HR, provide insights on starting solo or in a small team, and offer an overview of the key characteristics of an Agile organization. So I invite you to register for this webinar, and the link will be shared via email. And I guarantee you that joining the session will be a great learning experience for you all. And not just this, here comes an exciting news on your way. We invite you to join our upcoming global virtual conference, the PeopleOps Pulse of 2023. That's scheduled on October 10th to 12th on 9 a.m. to noon, New York time. We are bringing together industry experts from around the world to share their knowledge during the conference. The conference theme will explore on how organizations can ACE, that is, foster business agility, adopt coaching as a practice, and elevate the people's experience. So I invite you to pre-register for this conference. And we'll be sharing this link as well in the chat box. And I hope to meet you all during this conference as well. So what do we do next? We have some post-webinar assessments, and they will be shared to all of the attendees. And also in continuation to the trio webinar series, we have our upcoming webinar in the month of August. So stay tuned for that as well. We have a Saudi Arabia LinkedIn group. The link will be shared to you all via email. And we hope to get connected with you all. So coming to the moment of conclusion, we'll share the recording of the session with all the participants hereby and who have RSVP'd. Also, we will upload the session to our Agile PeopleOps YouTube channel. Stay tuned for more. We'll be coming up with many more sessions for you to learn and grow with us all. Thank you all once again, and I wish you all to have a very wonderful day ahead. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thanks, Asta. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sarika. Thank you, Asna. And looking forward for the upcoming events and a great cooperation together.